Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So we've been decoding REM Losing My Religion, and we've got a variance percent, which was 2.1%. It seems I take that for granted sometimes, guys, you know, after we get going. But yeah, we got a variance percent and 2.1. Again, not very high. Impressive it got caught in the first place because it's not that much variance. It just isn't. So we've also got our letters to go, our extraction letters to go through stock market, finance, and genetics, and now we're on medical. And I was fishing yesterday, so I almost didn't get this done today. I was fishing yesterday and gone most of the day today, and I almost didn't get this done, but I did. So here it is. Now, if you take, all right. So what you got going on here is we're on REM losing my religion. Set enough, change to set it up. And if you cross off the S because it's still in set it up, you cross off the I because it's still in set it up, you cross off the E because it's still over here and set it up, and you cross off the U because it's over here and set it up. You're left with A, D, N, O, G, H, T, T, P. So we brought A, D, N, O, G, H, T, T, P down, and that happened twice. So we brought it down twice. Now, the thing about that is, once you get through it halfway and get through the overlap, it repeats unless, again, we rearrange the letters, and I'm not doing that yet. And I don't think I need to. I think we got us a nice suspect. All right. But the algorithms aren't liking to show me unless I very specifically know what I'm looking for. So if you start right off with ADN, you end up with ADN Medical Ltd. And disclaimer, throughout this whole thing, and if you look at these links, you're going to find cerveza bug information. All right, I think we all know what I mean by cerveza bug. We don't believe in it. We don't believe it. Now, we believe people get sick and whatnot. It happens all the time, but we don't believe in this nonsense, okay? We just don't. So view any of this information, any of the cerveza bug information at your own discretion. I'll say it again. View any and all cerveza bug information at your own discretion. We do not believe in it as presented. We just don't. All right. So moving on. And it's going to be there multiple times. So just bear that in mind if you go through these links. All right. So ADN Medical Ltd. If you move on from that, you have AD, which ends up being AD Medical Incorporated in Chicago, Illinois. If you move on from that, you have DN, which ends up being Doctor of Naturopathy Program, National University of Medical Sciences. So there's a whole thing they can hit. If you move on from that, you have OG, which ends up being, once again, OG Kush, a medical marijuana. All right. And also OG is OG Medical Supply Corporation. All right. If you move on from that, you have OGH, which ends up being Opel OSS General Health System. OGH is also Olean General Hospital, and that's in New York. All right. And you also get Office of Global Health. Again, I don't know how much I like that word global anymore, but there it is, Office of Global Health. If you move on from that, you take GH by itself, and that ends up being GH Medical and also GH Medical Gas Systems. And I'll provide these links, guys. But again, we went through that. So if you move on from that, you have GHT, which ends up being growth hormone therapy. And that's some therapy they use growth hormones for. All right. If you move on from that, you have HT, which ends up being HT Medical Advanced Biomaterial Solutions. You move on from that, you have HTT, which ends up being HTD gene and Huntington, and deals with Huntington's disease. So both is there, I found. I remember it being Huntington's disease. I mean, there might be an effect on that. I'm not sure. I found both. So maybe not. So if you move on from that, you have TT, which ends up being TT Medical, and that's in Los Angeles, California. If you move, and also TT is TT Medical Incorporated in Dusseldorf, Germany. All right. If you move on from that, you get TTP, which ends up being thrombotic, thrombocytopenic, pupra. And that, again, deals with blood clots. We found that in the genetics as well. Sometimes that does happen. But you also get TPA is, excuse me, you move on from that and you got TPA or TPA. And TPA is tissue plasmagen activator. All right. If you move on from that, you have PA, which ends up being a medical marijuana program at pa.gov. So there's Pennsylvania. It's a government website and it deals with medical marijuana. You also get the PA profession, Yale School of Medicine, Yale University. So there's another university they can hit. All right. If you move on from that, you get, whoops, sorry about that, guys. If you move on from that, you get PAD, which ends up being peripheral artery disease. We had that in genetics again. And that gets you through going forward. You're at the overlap now. You're through the overlap. So now we're coming back, and you start with PT, which ends up being PT and INR blood test. And that deals with blood clots again. And that's Summit Medical Group. So there's another thing they can hit. And that's prothrombin time test. PT time. PT. You also get physical therapy, guys. PT is physical therapy. I'm not sure how significant that is, but that's what it is. If you move on from that, you get PTT, which is partial thromboplastin time. And that, once again, deals with blood clots. If you move on from that, you have TTH, which ends up being tension type headache. And there's multiple sources on that they can hit. If you move on from that, you get TH, which ends up being Tenet Healthcare, TH Medical. If you move on from that, you have HG, which ends up being HG Medical, and they deal with implant fabrication. I'm not sure what sort of implants. I didn't really read into it much because I was trying to get this video out. But if you move on from that, you end up with GO, and that ends up being GO Medical, and they deal with medical supplies. If you move on from that, you have GON, which ends up being Greater Occipital Nerve Block, GON block. And I think that's a procedure of some sort. If I'm not mistaken, that was the procedure. If you move on from that, you have ONDA, which ends up being ONDA Medical LLC. You also have ONDA as a medicine for nausea and vomiting. It's a medicine. At one point, I didn't think there was a medicine for nausea and vomiting, but beyond like what you took before you drove or before you went on an airplane, Dramamine maybe, but ONDA. If you move on from that, you have ND, and once again, I typed ND and got nothing North Dakota. Nothing North Dakota. But we know North Dakota, ND, is a state, and they can hit anything in that state. So once again, and since we already got North Dakota University on finance and also genetics, I went ahead and typed North Dakota University or University of North Dakota, and you get University of North Dakota Medicine and Health Sciences. So once again, there they are. The algorithms are keeping it from me. And because the algorithms are keeping it from me, I put down my pen somewhere. But whatever. Since the algorithms are keeping it from me, we're highlighting it. So far, it's in every category but the stock market. And somebody there, or they, the university itself, most likely has an investment in the stock market. All right. If you move on from that, you have so that's our suspect, guys. We're going to see if we can find them in chemical and laboratories and research groups and all in technology too. And if we do, we'll end up running the gematria against them unless something changes our mind. All right. So and again, that is being hidden from me. I have to specifically search that out. And the only reason I was able to find it in the first place was because I happen to know ND is North Dakota. All right. Otherwise, I never would have found it. So that's where I'm asking any of you, if any of you see anything when I'm doing these things that I don't catch and you know something is something like ND stands for North Dakota. If you know something stands for something like a state and I miss it, please let me know. If it ain't coming up and the algorithms are hiding it from me, that's suspicious, right? All right. So if you move on from that, you have DAP. Now we're in the overlap. And DAP is nuclear medicine and radiology, and it's an estimate of likelihood of skin damage from a specific dose of radiation. Not too sure how much I think of that, but there it is. It's there. If you move on from that, you have AP, and that ends up being AP Medical and also AP Medical Group, and they seem to be two different things. And that gets you through going forwards and backwards in medical. So, medical, chemical will be next, followed by laboratories and research groups in technology, random hits, and translations. And then we'll convert that all into numbers and we'll go do it again. And then we'll run the gematria against North Dakota. We'll break down North Dakota University, assuming nothing changes our mind, and REM Losing My Religion and all that, just like we always do. And we will see. We'll run the gematria against it and see. The theory, of course, being that some of these quantum computers were designed by the Freemasons or Kabbalah, and it's running a gematria algorithm. Therefore, it'll go out, find something in reality, because that's how they operate, is in realities, I should say. Find something in reality, to change, to leave the code for what they searched for and who searched for it. That's the theory. And oh, there's my pen. And it really seems that that's really what's going on. Got a lot of evidence for it. So that's going to be it for this one. And I apologize that these aren't coming out fast at all. But we've been awful busy lately. So within the next few days, hopefully we can get to chemical. And seems to me there was something else I wanted to mention. We did our disclaimer. So maybe that's it. So for now, guys, thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down when appropriate. By the way, if you're still with me and you get anything out of these videos, please thumb up. And thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And thanks a lot for watching, guys. And for now, gee whiz, I sure thought there was something else I wanted to touch on, but I'm not thinking of it offhand, so maybe I already touched on it. So, and if I think of it, I'll make a note of it, and we'll cover it in the next video. So, for now, guys, thanks for watching. And for now, and thanks for all your help, by the way. Phoenix, that's what I wanted to touch on. Phoenix pointed out a few things that I missed. So, thank you very much for that. That's always good. I think that was what I wanted to mention. It was to thank Phoenix for pointing out those things that I didn't catch. So, for instance, Alzheimer's disease, right off the bat, you got a memory problem, right? That's one of the things he pointed out, and it went right over my head when I was doing it. So, yeah, thanks, Phoenix. And that's exactly what I'm talking about when I say if somebody catches something I missed, please point it out, because I won't catch everything. All right, especially when we're doing all these, that's a lot of information, and some of it's going to go right by me without notice, I'm sure. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching now, and Chemical will be next, hopefully within the next few days. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your evening.